Well, what is it? Well, we're on Cape Cod today. We're going to meet a friend, actually 3 friends, and take a hike through some beautiful forests and maybe down memory lane too. So stick around. Welcome to Windows to the Wild. I'm Willem Lang. About once a year, my friend Tom Ryan calls me, invites me to take a hike with him. Well, he's a best-selling New York Times author, so I generally say yes. And he generally takes us for a walk on one of the beautiful trails around Jackson, New Hampshire, where he lives. But not today. Thomas, there's no mountains here.
No, but you're going to feel it at your age.
We're on Cape Cod. What's going on?
I've decided to get away from the North Country because everyone from Massachusetts came north, so we decided to come to Massachusetts.
Tom and his dogs have been on Cape Cod for several weeks. Every day they look for a new trail to hike. We're walking today in the West Barnstable Conservation Area. We entered from Great Hill Road in Sandwich. We're missing the mountains that we love to hike in New Hampshire, but it's nice here.
It doesn't have the same views, but you're going to see the forest, the woods, the trees, these scrub pine and scrub oak.
Yeah.
I'm bringing you a place I've called the Witch Forest.
Why do you call it the Witch Forest?
You'll see when we get there.
The
trees actually remind me, as we get up, they're so, as you talked about,
Yeah.
the Cape is all sand.
Yeah.
And it's hard to grow here. And so
Yeah.
the trees that grow here are battered by the wind and by the ocean air, and they twist and turn, and they look like old witch fingers sticking up, I think.
Like a Disney movie on a dark night.
They do. And you know, a couple of weeks ago, we were out here walking on the power lines. I come out here at night with my headlamp on, and we started to walk one way, and I saw 4 sets of eyes on a ridge watching us. And the coyotes down here are strong. They're overrunning the place. So I said, let's go this way. So we took another trail, and then here, when you look at the map, there's 100 trails. And so I decided we'd lose them.
Yeah.
We walked for an hour. I kept turning back. They followed us the whole time. It was enchanting. I wasn't ever worried about them getting us.
Yeah.
Because we're a pack of 3 and I can sing badly, so that would scare them away.
We won't go too far.
And I'm bringing you to a place where we might see a couple of people. I ran into a couple of people who, I was talking to one fellow and he says, so you're up from New Hampshire, the White Mountains. I like that show that's always filmed up there. It's that Willem Lang fellow.
He got the name right?
He said, I love that Windows to the Wild. And I said, well, why do you like it? He said, well, if he can keep going at his age, I should be able to do something. And then another fellow I ran into, same story. So I said, you know, funny story. He's going to be here next week. So we might see them on the trails.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Would be.
What's going to happen to those guys when I keel over?
They'll say, I met you.
No, they don't.
Unless you keel over today, then they'll grab something for a memento.
Oh, dear. Oh, Samwise. I knew you as a puppy. I met Tom about 10 years ago. We were with Atticus then, his miniature schnauzer, and the star of Tom's best-selling book, Following Atticus. There was another dog, Will. Tom rescued him from imminent death. He was mostly blind and deaf, but loved to get outdoors with Tom. Atticus and Will are both gone now, but we have Samwise and Emily to lead the way. Here, you ready to go, Kiki? Huh?
So we are going to go down this way, Will.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring you to an observation deck, the only one in the area. It doesn't have much of a view. We can't see the ocean, but it's looking out towards the water. You two, hey, calm down.
The dogs have been patient, but as you can see, their patience is running thin. Time to move on because at the end of the day, Tom, Samwise, and Emily head west.
We're going to take about 2 weeks to get out to Kanab, Utah, and rented a house there, just outside of Zion for a month.
Yeah, beauty.
And then the month of March, we'll be in another house in the Sonoran Desert.
What a lovely day.
Isn't it?
I'm just not used to
Perfect.
this. Oh,
So, Will,
Yeah.
I've asked you here today.
oh. I don't have much money.
A lot of people that I run into have questions about you.
Oh, yeah?
They say, is he really that nice in person? And I say, I think so, but his producers don't.
Yes, that's right.
No, but they all have questions, and I realize that people have been watching your shows for how many years now?
Well, my 16 years now, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while.
And the reason they tune in is not so much the subjects you're talking about or the places you take them, because they feel like they have a friend in you.
Well, that's nice. They do, too.
Isn't this pretty?
Yeah.
And there's morning light too, especially. That morning when I ran into him on the trail and we were talking, and he said, "Oh man, that show, that just, it makes me happy." And
Yeah.
and he said, "You know, if I ever had a chance to meet him, it would make my year." So I said, "Well, I have a surprise for you."
How are you guys doing?
Well, thank you. Come on up and meet Will.
Hello.
Lang, it is my absolute honor to meet you.
Pardon me for not rising. I can't anymore.
Should we shake?
Oh, I forgot. Jesus.
Some things are not as vogue as like they were when we were younger.
I am. What's your name?
I am Bruce Estrella.
Is this a conserved area here?
This is a town conservation land. It's called West Bonsall Conservation Area. It's a little less than 4 square miles, between 3.5 and 4 square miles. And outside of that, it's become a very popular recreation area. And during the COVID, of course, and we've seen a lot more people in here over the past year than we had previously.
Yeah.
My neighborhood borders on the south side of this conservation land, so we have easy access to just walk out the door and down the street, and we're into the conservation land. And what I like about it is I love being outdoors to begin with, but you have so many trails here, you can mix and match and create your own routine in any given day.
Emily, stay calm.
Well, Willem is an institution, and he's an old soul who just, I find it very relaxing to watch your program and listen to you talk, so it's certainly an asset as I get older, because I need to relax more as I get older.
Yep. You do. You're right.
Earlier in life, Bruce and his family would get away to New Hampshire. The outdoors made a lasting impression on them.
Yeah, my wife and I used to camp there when the kids were younger, and various sites, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont,
Nice.
New York, upstate New York,
Yep.
Western Massachusetts. Yeah, the kids became very much ingrained in their being, so they've done a lot of camping on their own as they've become adults.
Yep.
That I think was a very strong influence on them in terms of their caring for the environment.
Yeah.
Well, Will, you've made my year, so
Oh, good.
I thank
And
you.
early, too. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You can top it.
Well, they say as January goes in the stock market, so goes the rest of the year. So maybe we'll have a good
Is that
year.
right?
I may never run into Bruce again, but it sure was nice to meet him here today.
So my question, I have some questions about you
Yes, okay.
that people have asked me, and people would like to know more about you. And you love to tell stories.
It's sort of, I don't know if I love to or not, I just do it. It's like kind of like oral diarrhea. That reminds me of a story.
Well, I told someone the story. They said, "How was your last trip out to Sawyer Pond?" I said, "It was great." I said, "You know, Will has this habit of seeing people, and his first thing he says when he sees someone on the trail, he says, 'So, where are you from?'" And I told him we didn't really see many people on the trail that day.
Yeah.
I said, "But we're walking back, and we're getting back, and we're walking along the river above, and you're walking, and you know that trail doesn't have a lot of elevation, but there's a lot of rocks and roots."
Yeah, I noticed, yes.
And we were walking along, and you were watching your step, and I said, "Will, there's two people coming," knowing that would make you happy. And when you looked up, you missed your footing and you fell down to that little gully.
Yep.
And these two men are walking the other way, and they come up to us, and they're horrified to see this nice old gentleman having fallen and having all of us help you get up. And you're there, and it looks like you've broken everything. And you're standing there at a crooked angle, and those two men look at you, and you say to them, "So, where are you from?" You didn't start out as a country boy.
No, God, no.
Where were you born?
Albany. Right in Albany Hospital, and lived in pretty much downtown Albany my first 8 years. Fourth floor walk up. I can still remember. 2 steps into the vestry, 20, 18, 17, and we were up 55 steps. Now I climb 55 steps to the top of Mount Washington, and I think, geez, how did we do that? You know? Well,
There's 70 years in between.
yeah,
years
just
in
a few,
between.
yeah. But you know, it was nice. My great grandmother was my nanny, and she was a walker. Boy, she was a walker, a German. But every week she took us to the Museum of Natural History in Albany, which was beautiful. You know, a stuffed elephant or a mastodon and snakes and
Give you a-
ostrich eggs, you know. It was great.
Did that make you a junior naturalist?
Yeah. No, we just looked around. She told us, never, ever put anything in that elephant's trunk. That's like saying, you know, do it, I'll give you $1.
What did you put in there?
A little piece of dirt. I thought, sure, it would come to life and get me, but it didn't, you know. But that was until I was 8, and then we moved to Syracuse, and we lived on the edge of a green infinity. You know, it wasn't developed yet beyond where we were, much. My buddies and I could walk all day out in the woods and the old abandoned quarries and farms, and it was beautiful, just beautiful.
So how long were you in Syracuse for?
Until 1950. That was what, another seven years.
So you were 15.
Yeah, I got in trouble with the law. A very creative young fellow.
It wasn't quite as bad as it might sound. My friend, also 15, bought a Saturday night special. I don't know why. The problem was our age. We were too young to own a handgun, and probably too young to know better. His mother turned us in, and we went to juvenile justice separately. Next thing I knew, I was unhappily enrolled in prep school in Massachusetts.
Where's that?
Mount Herman.
Oh.
And we didn't have that kind of money, but they gave me a scholarship, $400.
My mother took a job as a stock clerk to help pay the rest of the tuition.
And I never got to thank her. You know, I never thought to thank her for that, because boy, it changed my life. A great place. I really, and I go back once, twice a year still.
I joined the Mount Hermon Outing Club, and that put me on a path to something much bigger.
So you did the AT
Did. And that was 55.
back when you hardly saw anyone in the trail.
There
compared to
were a
now.
few people, you know, but not many. And the problem was the trail wasn't that well marked. You were constantly getting lost. It was, but my buddies were meeting me along the way, you know, and they'd have camp set up, sometimes a supper going, you know. And that was nice.
How long did that take you? 4 or 5 months?
79 days. I was jogging most of the time.
Wow.
I didn't have anything on, you know, just shorts and had a very light pack, and I'd meet up with my buddies at night. And
That's speed hiking.
it was, yeah, it really was fast. But they're all dead now, every one of them.
You chose, I asked you the idea of, before the AT, when did you get into nature? You said exploring the forest around Syracuse?
Yeah, you know, being on the edge of the woods all the time, you know, I was into it, and then outing club, and, you know, it was a natural. And after that 55 episode, I went west with Buddy Sam in 1956. We were going to go west to seek our fortune and climb. We had all our climbing gear. He had an old 46 Plymouth sedan coupe, but the back was huge. You know, we had a desk, typewriter, we'd sleep back there, and guitars. We had a great time. A canoe on top, 2 bicycles. We got to, we climbed in Colorado for a while, some of the 14,000 footers, and I wasn't feeling so hot. Then we climbed in Wyoming for a while in the Wind Rivers. That was, oh God, that was beautiful. It was empty then, it's not now anymore. But I really was feeling kind of lousy. When we got to the Grand Teton, I thought, I just don't feel like it. I'm not feeling quite. I went to the doctor, and I had a ruptured periodontal cyst in my jaw. That's what was bothering me. Luckily, it was an Episcopal hospital. My father's an Episcopal minister, free. So we decided we'd go home.
How old were you?
56, I was 21, and ready to go. So I moved to Keene Valley, New York, which was where my roommate at Mount Hermon was from, and I loved the place. I visited him a few times, climbed, you know, around Keene Valley. It was just wonderful. So I went there, lived in a lean-to, about a mile from the end of the road, and I got a job working in the woods, a carpenter, laborer, stuff like that.
Pounding nails and lugging shingles all day somehow led me to a great job at the Lake Placid bobsled run.
I loved it. I was the announcer.
I can't think of a job better for you.
They hired me because I didn't have any accent. You know the Adirondack accent? It's going to Irish, you know, kind of. But I loved it. I had to work on the run, you know, shoveling and making slush and everything. I had to work with the crew, but then when the run opened, I was all day, clear the track. Track is clear, blah, blah, blah. And I'd call the sled down, see? It was great. That was fun.
Yeah. So this was a simple hike for you, Will.
Yep.
But scenic.
Yep. So in March of '59, I bought my first Beetle, brand new Volkswagen convertible Beetle.
I remember those pictures you sent me.
And I didn't have a job, obviously, after the run closed, so I got a job working construction in Syracuse. And that's where I met Ida, digging a hole in the street, and she walked past. Oh, that was it. And we got married about 12 weeks later.
12 weeks.
Yeah.
You didn't waste any time.
Ida and I raised 3 children. We hiked, camped, and played together outdoors. Good memories. Those walks with Great Grandma Lang in Albany as a kid turned into a lifetime of outdoor adventure.
So, Will,
Yes,
after such an active life,
yes,
is this hard now?
yeah, it is.
What's your biggest challenges?
Well, no, not so many challenges because you just don't do so much. You can't, you know. But I would like to still climb, you know, like the 48 or the Adirondack 46. You know, the one or two, but it just isn't wise anymore, I guess. And I've seen it happen to so many of my older friends. You know, they lost their snowplow, you know, so they had to quit skiing. And I've lost my balance, so I had to quit skiing. Skis are still there in the corner saying,
You can do it.
I'm saying, I don't think so, you know.
Acceptance is such a hard thing.
Yeah, well, it's easier when you think, okay, how many thousand miles did I manage to ski, you know? Lots. That helps, but you know, that's living in the past and you gotta live now. So I tried to do what I can do still, which is I can still sit at a computer and bang it out.
And you still get out for walks with Kiki, and
Yeah,
you get out for your shows.
every day, yeah, every day.
I still get out because there are still more stories to tell. People hike. People paddle. And along the way, they create their own stories, just waiting to be shared.
Being realistic.
Yes,
You've been doing this for 16 years.
yeah,
You ever think about the end coming up?
yeah. They're gonna have to fire me though.
Well, I figure they're going to have to bury you because
Well, there's that too.
make sure you don't come back.
But if I die on the job or if they bury me, there'll be a lot of, you know how when a high school kid who was just nothing but a pain in the neck, he mouths off in class, he drinks, he drives too fast, he gets killed. All of a sudden, God, he was a wonder. He'd do anything for you. Everybody loved him. No, that's not true.
I know a TV host like that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want that to happen, you know?
But looking back at your legacy,
Yeah.
you saw today two men who see you on TV.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
And
It's kind of fun.
It happened, I heard, in the Northern Presidentials last weekend.
Yeah.
You were there, and in the parking lot, someone came up and said that a disabled person lives through your shows.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was that like?
That was great. Just great. You know, they don't know you. They know what they see on the screen, you know. But so you take it, you take the compliments or the good wishes for what it's worth, which is a lot. You know, I really appreciate them. They didn't have to say anything. They just did. You know, I'm nobody in particular. Just
Oh, you are somebody
know,
particular
well-
because this show, I mean, you get to show people places they wouldn't normally get to,
yeah, that's true.
and you get to show them how beautiful New England is and the different personalities that live there. But I still think that everyone still tunes in more so to see your guests than to see you.
Oh yeah, no question. I hope so.
Yeah, you're like an old friend who comes into their living room.
Yeah. You know.
And one of the great things, I don't know if this is our 5th or 6th time doing this now, but it's no different when the cameras are on than when they're off, which is what makes it so comfortable.
Well, yeah. You know, some people look at a camera and they see that bluish black glass and they get, I see people waving. Hi, they're saying, and I'm talking to them. Well, Thomas, the gang's all here.
Yeah. It started out just you, me, and Atticus. Now look at us.
I know it. Yeah. Yeah. And it was up to you, because of you that I got her. You remember?
Yeah, Samwise and I,
Yeah.
and then you. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And what an addition she's been.
Oh, I can't imagine. I can't imagine life without her, but it's not very much fun, you know. Oh, we've had a good walk today, and you're about to take off for the Wild West.
Yeah, and a
And the-
wild time in our world right now.
Yeah, but you'll be farther south. I got to go home tonight, where it's still snowing, by the way.
This may be our year without a snowstorm for us, or for a
Could
big
be,
snowstorm.
could be. But what a great time we've had. I hope we'll have some more hikes together. You know,
I think we will.
okay? And whether we do or not, I do hope you'll join us. I'm Willem Lang, and I hope to see you again on Windows to the Wild.
Support for the production of Windows to the Wild is provided by the Alice J. Reen Charitable Trust, the Fuller Foundation, the Gilbert Verney Foundation, and viewers like you. Thank you.